Also got a. Here you go. Windows. Nice.
Hey, I found your magazine.
Oh, good.
Does he pose naked? Yeah.
It's a double page spread.
It's disturbing.
It's not bad. Oh. All right. Synergy. I bought something called Synergy to work with here, which is Synergy is something that will it's like a software KVM thing, and it's pretty cool actually.
It's the follow-up app to Paradigm, right?
Sure, that's some kind of
It's
science,
you
it's a
know
science joke that I'm not familiar with. I'm sure, right?
no, it's Paradigm was the buzz phrase word in the corporate space for a long time, and then it changed to Synergy. And my joke was just too esoteric. That's on me.
That's all right. The best I could come up with is there's a Weird Al song. I like it. I don't know if the Weird Al song is
Right. I can't wait for Marcus to make another comment saying, thanks for the warning. I'm going to post it in Back to the Future.
yeah, that's
He hasn't, I just posted it, so he won't hear me say that.
yeah. Well,
Whatever.
he says what he has to say,
Yes, he does.
as we all do. Anyway, yeah, there's a Weird Al song, corporate. I gotta find it. It's all about business buzzwords, and it's kind of funny. Weird Al.
Oh, it is Weird Al's, of course.
Yep.
What is corporate lingo? Corporate mission statement. So yeah, if you get it, it's basically just a song full of corporate buzzwords, and it's kind of funny. So says I. So says I. All right, we good?
I'm doing socials.
Hey everyone, this is
How's it going, everybody?
my scroll mouse is not scrolling. God damn it. I hate when that happens.
It's beta.
No, I need to get myself a trackpad. I have this Logitech thing. Not quite working. All right.
Almost there.
What beta on my Mac did was break my unlock with the watch feature on this Mac. And
Well, if it's any consolation, that feature is just basically broken anyhow. It's a crapshoot when it's going to work.
it's normally okay, but yeah, now
Yeah.
it won't even. I can't even turn it on. I try to turn it on and it gives me an error. Just on this one, but not my other one. So I thought about reinstalling everything today, and then I decided not to do that. So here we are.
So now you're typing in your password like an animal.
Try. I almost went out and bought the Touch ID keyboard out of desperation, but I decided I don't really need to do that. So
I'm going to be.
I'm thinking about it, but then I
have a gift card to burn.
yeah,
Nice.
I might get that, and then I have to get the magic trackpad for it, and
Right.
it's like a sickness, a dish.
We all have it.
It's bad. It's bad. It's bad.
Camera's okay. Take a jump for a minute.
Okay.
And did I do okay getting my camera back
Jeff Gammett says
Yeah.
in line?
the Book of Boba Fett is easier to accept when you see this. I haven't started watching yet. The Book of Boba.
Yeah. Mando's on there.
I'm watching. I'm watching.
Spoiler, dude.
I'm watching.
Well, just look at the episode name, The Mandalorian.
Yeah, that's true. Warren, you can skip, you can watch the whole thing, if you want, or if you feel like skipping ahead and jumping in on what was this week, episode 6, start with episode 5,
Mm.
and they'll give you enough of a recap
Yep.
so that you have an idea what's going on, and then you can just move forward. Either
That's
way.
like half the season that you don't have to watch. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously. But
yeah.
it
I heard
after last
Nick.
week and this week, I realized this just has to be a side quest series
Yeah,
for the Mandalorian.
I haven't
Right.
I haven't gotten into it. I'm almost done with Peacemaker. I'm waiting for the next episode, which is really fun.
All
I
right.
need
I'm
to start
gonna
Peacemaker.
gonna
Did you
start.
see it? You watching it?
I haven't started yet.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's funny.
All right, here we go, guys. I'm gonna start.
Let's go.
Audio hijack. Go ahead and talk to me.
Let's hijack the audio.
Yes, take it all. Take all the audio.
It's doing it again.
Your camera's wacky.
Yeah, I know.
Oh.
Let me.
Maybe the camera's fine and Dave is buffering.
Maybe.
Use max headroom.
All right, let me try something real quick.
Warren, your Max Headroom impression was glorious.
It's not bad. It's been a while. That's my that's how I remember it. Where'd he go?
I'm just trying to work on my camera here.
He's buffering again.
He's buffering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man,
We all
okay.
buffer on our days off, I think. God damn it.
I
Mouse.
should have tested this earlier.
Yeah. Yeah. I have too many computers now. I'm deciding. But this one's nice. No. Yeah. Yeah.
Ammo doesn't want to work. Okay.
Boba Fett. Boba Fett where? Boba Fett where? Where's just tell me how they got out of the pit, because I had to tell you, right? Because that's the
Yeah,
other
of course. That's
Yeah.
part of the whole
story.
backstory thing. I
Yeah.
mean, how could they not? When
Address
you
that.
think about it,
Yeah.
the whole Boba Fett series premise is
Based on that.
it's basically fan service.
Yeah.
So there's no way that they could do that without talking about how Boba Fett gets out of the Sarlacc pit.
Right.
And although with what they're doing with the series, they could have very easily left that part out.
I mean, it didn't have to. It could have been like a 5-minute thing, right?
Yeah.
Here he
Oh,
is.
yeah.
I don't know. I didn't see any of it. I'm assuming he like shot one of his, things out and kind of dragged himself out. I mean, how
won't
else is
tell
it going
you.
to do it? I mean, I don't know.
It's,
He didn't kill the thing because you don't. It's a
right, because it's a Sarlacc.
Yeah, it's you don't do that. So I'm assuming he just kind of like climbed out of it, but who knows?
I'll instead of answering that, I'll just leave it open for you to discover on your own.
Yeah.
Or not. But
Or not.
also, if I were to tell you, anyone that's watching live that hasn't seen the series that doesn't want spoilers would then be pissed off. And I've got a thing about avoiding spoilers.
Yeah, although I'm sure, I mean, you could find out anyways, right? Because it's even before the show, there was a side show about it or a comic. I don't know. The story was out there before the series, I think. Sort of.
And I'm not going to ruin it for anyone. So yes, there are plenty of opportunities to find out what's happening in the series.
Yeah.
Without watching it, if you so choose.
Yeah. Maybe I'll just do it. Well, I mean, Hell, I'm already only watching half the series. I might as well go all in and read that part while I'm at it. Just what maybe I only have to watch like 3 episodes at this point. Maybe the last one. I don't know.
Yeah, there you go.
Exactly. Dave, how we doing?
Yeah, I'm still having problems with audio hijacker, guys. Hold on.
All right. Ooh.
It's not picking you guys up again. Remember we had this problem last time? I don't have anything I changed here.
The good news for me is that it's not my fault.
Not yet.
No, but the night is young.
The night is young. That's a I could install Windows.
I hate to do this, but I'm gonna reboot.
Okay. You know what?
You guys can,
I'm gonna
go ahead.
reboot too because my scrolling isn't scrolling. So I'm coming back to
All right. If you want to stay on Zoom,
yeah.
Fine,
Jeff,
whatever.
hold
No,
down
I
the
get
fort,
it,
Jeff.
Whatever.
hold fort
Hold,
down.
hold down the fort. We'll be back.
Be right back.
Wait, so you're gonna leave me unattended with a live stream?
Well, no, I don't know if I can leave the live stream on. Can I?
Oh, you probably can't.
Underpants.
I can, no, let's see if I can. If I make you a host, maybe.
I don't know. I think for the live stream part, you have to stay here.
All right. Oh well. I'll leave and we'll find out. You'll see if it's still doing it. I'll turn the recording off, at least that part. All right, be back.
All right,
Thanks, Jeff.
sure. I'll miss you while you're gone.
You too.
All right. I'm guessing that YouTube still works. So Dave has left me completely on my own, which is actually pretty funny and scary. So, all right. Well, then I'm going to tell everyone how I feel about Book of Boba Fett without offering any spoilers. So it's not The Mandalorian, but it makes for a nice side story for The Mandalorian. And I feel like I can best describe it as a side quest in the Mandalorian show. So, if you're into the Mandalorian, great, go ahead and watch it. And if you're not, and you're really into Boba Fett, okay, you'll still have fun with the show. And I believe that the series is offering up a perfect example of why the Clone Wars animated series is still the best Star Wars that we have, because Dave Filoni, he's the man. And boy, did he do a great job of crafting a Star Wars universe that happens before the original trilogy, starting with what eventually became known as a New Hope. Yeah, so it's the prequel to the original series that we deserved, and they're paying tribute to that in a great way, I think, with The Mandalorian and now with Book of Boba Fett. So that's kind of cool. And Warren, you're back.
Did you just tell the whole secret of everything?
Yeah, I just spoiled it for everyone except you.
Oh man, I knew I shouldn't have rebooted.
Actually, I didn't spoil it for anyone, but I totally talked about Book of Boba Fett and
Did you?
and The Mandalorian and Dave Filoni and Star Wars Clone Wars. You missed an awesome discussion that I totally dominated.
And for the one person watching the video, which is you, I'm sure enjoyed it.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
Oh well, my reboot was a failure. I think tomorrow I'm getting myself a real mouse because this one's not working.
Well, it was successful in the fact that you're still here.
I am. Yeah, I came back, unfortunately. But
well, I missed you while you were gone.
did I miss anything good other than your story?
Nope, that's it.
All right. I had a rebooted call. Okay, so name my device. What is this? ThinkPad? Sure. Think. I'll just call you Think. Oh, there he is. Stop talking about him.
Right.
Stay
So,
on all day?
Dave, didn't see you there.
Dave-
Nothing. We weren't talking
Dave-
about you.
Dave Ginsburg is the host now.
Looks like
host.
the stream stayed.
It did, and without knowing if I was here alone, I went on a total Star
Rampage.
Wars, Book of Boba Fett, Mandalorian, Clone Wars discussion all on
All
my
right,
own.
camo works now.
I thought you were gonna say you went on a like postal rampage that we missed. That would have been even more.
That would have been epic.
That would have been epic.
So, yeah,
Yep.
I've not. So, Warren, you said I was the only one here in the live stream at the time,
Mm-hmm.
and since it wasn't being recorded, that's some serious gold that the world just missed out on.
Because it's the same link I just tweeted on on Facebook. Oh lordy,
So,
lordy.
yeah, everyone really missed out on my whole Star Wars discussion.
Yeah, we'll have to do after dark, which will actually be dark.
It is already dark.
It's definitely dark here.
All right, let's try this
Definitely
again.
dark here.
Everything's working now.
Okay. Set up for personal use. Yes. Okay. Let's add your Microsoft account. Okay. You got it. $10. Not bad. Look at me.
88 notes.
Check if
Thanks
that's
for your
okay.
patience, people, who are those who are watching. Let's just start recording in Zoom.
Okay.
All right, finally, we can now start the audio hijack. Go ahead and talk to me.
Hello.
Yep, looks like it.
Oh, right. Talk to you. Hello.
Yeah. That me.
Talk to me.
Talk to me. All right,
Like lovers shall.
camera looks good. All right, we're good.
Walk with me.
Walk
Okay.
with me.
Like lovers do.
All right, it's time to go.
Let's go.
All right, we're at the 188 in 5, 4, 3, 2. Welcome to episode 188 of In Touch with iOS, a podcast that talks about iPhone, iPad, Apple Watch, Apple TV, and related technologies. I'm your host, Dave Ginsburg, and my co-host Warren Sklar is here. How you doing, Warren?
Meeting is being recorded. Got it. I'm doing good.
Yeah,
glad to be here. Yes.
glad to have you. And back on the show, Jeff Gannett. Welcome back to the show. How you doing, Jeff?
Well, thanks for having me back. And I just have to let everyone know. Well, first, it's awesome to hang out with both of you.
Yes.
And second, I cannot believe that you left me alone, completely unattended and unsupervised on your live stream.
I'm going to have to go look at that later. Yeah, I have to
Yes.
reboot.
So basically what it comes down to, people, is that if you show up early for the show and Dave and Warren have to bail, you get whatever I'm going to talk about if I'm here, and there's nothing they can do to stop me.
Did you take off your shirt and just start prancing around too and talk about
I've got the moves going on.
Awesome. See, this is what you miss when Dave is fiddling around with
It looks
cameras.
like and Derek was in the chat room on YouTube. So
Sorry about
that's-
that, Derek.
so
We should
it's,
apologize in advance.
it was full of spoilers, he said. So you must have did something.
Derek, you are awesome.
So if anybody doesn't know that, you can go to our YouTube page when we do record this live. That's youtube.com/DaveG65. We are live on Thursday nights. And since we're talking about it, I figured I would just say that. But we do have a good show for this week. Lots of stuff going on. Some more beta discussion. A couple topics will be to talk about VPN. We want to kind of talk a little bit about VPN and is it really worth having it on your iPhone or your iPad? Doing some resets, and then probably gonna have a little bit of a discussion about Meta, also known as Facebook, losing $10 billion and we'll have a good lively art of conversation here. But of course we always have to start off with the news here. So let's jump right in here. First story here is on Mac Rumors. Apple releases Watch OS 8.4.1 with bug fixes for Apple Watch Series 4 and later. This was released back on Tuesday before we record the show. It's a minor update to Watch OS 8, which was launched in September. It's a week after 8.4 came out, and it fixed an ongoing charging issue. I thought 8.4 was supposed to fix the charging issue. Apparently it didn't, because they had to release a .1 version. And Apple does say it's unspecified fixes, and it's Apple Watch Series 4 and later, but there's no additional information. So, Jeff, why do they do this? They're always releasing these kind of things and never tell us why.
Yeah, but if we really needed to know, Apple would tell us. We just shouldn't worry our pretty little heads about it.
Don't worry, it works.
And something like this, it could be as simple as someone forgot to flip the switch for code in the update being available only for testers versus all of us. And so they had to release the .1 update to turn on the part of the code that was left like in debugging mode or something. Who knows?
Yeah, but go do it. It's a bug fix. Definitely recommend doing that. Warren, you're already on beta, so I know you don't have this on here, but you're running what, 8.5, right?
8.5, and seems probably better than whatever your 8.4 was. So yeah,
that's the update that enables holographic display on the Apple Watch, right?
That is, yeah. So score one for the beta team right now.
Yeah.
So.
Yes. So go update it. For those who don't live on the edge like Warren does, make sure you run up and update that. Okay.
Hey, at least I get notes of what my updates are.
Yeah. Well, it's beta.
Oh, okay.
Next story. We talked about this before. YouTube still testing the picture-in-picture on iOS with premium subscribers. YouTube today, as of this week, as we record, its testing period for iPhone's picture-in-picture feature by an additional 2 weeks. YouTube premium subscribers now have access to the picture-in-picture mode on iOS as an experimental feature, quote unquote, until February 14th, according to YouTube. But the feature was originally set to be available until January 31st, but I guess they extended it. Picture-in-picture mode is available on the iPhone running iOS 14 and later, and allows videos to be watched while using other apps, which is no brainer because you can do that with other apps already. So I guess there was a statement back in June of 2021 that they had planned to launch this for all users. You didn't have to have a premium subscription, but there was no time frame when that was going to be available. But if you do have the premium subscription, I'm grandfathered in. I have the $9.99 plan, but they are now pricing it at $11.99 a month in the US, which I think is well worth it with ad-free videos and being able to download videos and all kinds of other stuff. But and then they updated it in a statement saying that they still plan to launch the picture-in-picture for all users without YouTube Premium in the US, but they don't have any updates. So why is this such a crazy thing here, Jeff? I don't understand.
I don't know. Maybe they should team up with Watch OS dev team, because yeah. And I mean, seriously though, is picture-in-picture that difficult, especially when Apple has the hooks in the operating system for it?
Yeah, they already do. I mean, I use Xfinity Stream to watch TV shows. I use IMDb TV. I watch that. You could use that in picture-in-picture, and there's plenty of other video sources out there that do it already. And why Google has to make a huge deal out of this on iOS, I have no idea. Are you a premium subscriber? Or are you just watch the ads?
I am not a premium subscriber, and I do my best to avoid watching ads because they get really annoying.
They do.
But I'm not watching enough YouTube consistently enough to justify paying. So actually what ends up happening is if a video comes up and it has an ad that you can't click through to continue on, I
Mhm.
just close the window. I don't need to see the video that bad.
The content provider is being a jerk, basically. What do you think, Warren? Are you a premium subscriber?
No, and the only reason I would be is for the picture, not the picture in picture, but being able to do something else on my phone while the video plays. So if we're going to get that eventually, then I don't need it. But yeah, it's a pain when you're watching something on YouTube and like your phone rings or you have to check something and everything. Not only do you have to like get out of it, but then like when you go back into YouTube, it doesn't remember where you are, and
I know.
it's awful. So I try to avoid YouTube on my phone as much as possible, to be honest with you.
Okay. Well, I think that's a thing that some people will do, but I'm kind of an YouTube junkie. It's hard to avoid, especially when researching for you fine people and I'm doing notes for this show. So I got to be active on YouTube. Let's move on here. And next story here, Apple will pay $95 million in a class action lawsuit over refurbished Apple Care Plus replacements. If you ever had an iPhone or an iPad replaced under Apple Care plan, you could soon be eligible to receive a payout in a recently settled class action lawsuit. Here we go, Chuck. We know you like class action lawsuits against Apple. 2019, a class action lawsuit was certified against Apple, alleging that the company had used inferior products when replacing devices through its Apple Care Plus protection plans. Specifically, the plaintiffs were saying that it violated the terms and conditions by offering refurbished devices instead of replacing it with new ones. So basically, like every one of these class action lawsuits that we seem to be reading about on a somewhat daily basis here, you may get some money. What do you think, Warren?
I mean, it's happened, I think, to me too. I think I've gotten a refurbished part instead of a new
Me
part,
too.
and it never really bothered me, to be honest with you. As long as it looks new and it has the same warranty, and I mean, it's fine with me. I mean, the only thing I could tell you is that you didn't put it in the story, but it's kind of related. That did you see Zag? Was it Zag has their own Apple Care competitor now? So it's there's more options coming if you're not into the Apple Care Plus scene. But yeah, it never bothered me. But whatever. I guess it bothered $95 million worth of people.
I think it did. Don't you think, Jeff?
Well, I think the $95 million is Apple paying to make the problem go away.
Yeah.
And
To
that's
the lawyers. And the lawyers
which is pocket change for Apple, honestly.
Yeah,
the lawyers will get 94.9 million and everybody else gets
right.
Yes.
And a refurbished Apple product, it's not the same thing as buying a used device, because
Correct.
Apple takes in the used devices and then rebuilds them. So it's new components. And like maybe the part that's original is the inner frame or something. But the argument in this case that it's not possible for Apple to sell you a refurbished product that's as good as a brand new product. And they're basing it on things like, well, what about battery life? The battery already has some use. No, it's going to be a new battery in there. And yeah, I think this is a crap lawsuit, actually. And
yeah, and then most of them are, honestly.
Yeah. And for me, the time that I would be upset if Apple gave me a refurbished product, and I've had a couple iPhones replaced under Apple Care, and they give me the white box with the refurb in it. The only time I'd be really upset with that is like if I bought a brand new iPhone and it's in the first like week or two, and there's just something obviously defective with this device, and I take it in and they give me a refurb. Okay, at that point, I feel like we're still new enough in that purchase cycle that they should swap it out with a brand new device. Otherwise, they should refund me some money so that I'm paying a refurbished product price. But
Right.
otherwise, this is fine.
I mean, I've purchased refurbished products from the Apple Refurb store many times, and products are like brand new practically. I mean, they certify them. You get them. You get a full warranty on them. Plus, you can buy Apple Care on a refurbished product too, and then it's basically the same in my view. Whether it be traded, whether it's replaced based on the new product being replaced with the refurbished or not. I mean, it's.
Well, the three of us don't keep products long enough to even really worry about it.
I think Jeff
generally
does.
speaking. Well, some of my products, I mean, like, hey, I'm rocking an Apple Watch Series 4.
Right.
But that has to change this year because my battery's not going to hold out.
Poor soul. I mean, do you have shoes in the winter?
No, I don't. I wrap my
pants.
feet in newspaper and then slap myself and cry. Hey, I just realized that I have a refurbished product that I believe is actually not refurbished. Apple replaced a HomePod Mini for me under Apple Care. And as far as I can tell, the only difference between what they gave me and a brand new product is that mine came in a white box instead of the printed HomePod Mini box. And the device inside, from what they led me to believe, it's just a brand new HomePod Mini.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they do that just because they want to distinguish between a new stock product and a product that's being used to replace under Apple Care.
What's actually interesting is Best Buy has they have a system too. They have open box certified, open box excellent, and then it goes down from there, and you could get cheaper as it gets less perfect. I for one probably would welcome Apple to do something like that too, because I'm sure they have a lot of things that aren't in great shape that are in pretty decent shape that you could spend less money on too. But they don't do that. So
they don't. Yeah, that's how I got my Magic Trackpad from Best Buy, open box. And
like this just yesterday. It's fine.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is, when I got it, it had never been opened. Like the original shipping shrink wrap was still on the box.
Yep.
Yeah, and it turns out.
Yeah, I got $50 off a monitor that I'm looking at now that was open box excellent, and I mean it's perfect. So,
I mean, can't sell new.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and in my case, the open box meant that it was a corporation that had bought a bunch of Magic Trackpads from Best Buy, and whatever they didn't need, ultimately, Best Buy took back as open box to resell. But all the devices had been provisioned before the company got them, because when I plugged it in, mine still had the name for the company it was provisioned for.
Yeah. And
so I just did a quick reset, and there you go.
I think, just real fast, I think once with Best Buy, I think I bought a tablet, an Android tablet, and I didn't like it, and I returned it, and then I realized the thing I didn't like about it, I knew how to fix. I went back and bought the open box version of it, which was,
and it was still yours.
It was mine. It was the one so I'm not advocating that, but
yeah,
but it worked.
It worked. Yeah, exactly. Anyhow,
all right, let's move on. The next story here is Beats Studio Buds. It gains new AirPods features with the free firmware upgrade. Although Apple operates its Beats division within somewhat of arm's length, that pretty much makes sense because you hardly even know that's their product. Almost all the headphones and earphones it launches under that brand in the past year have included mostly the same iPhone integrations that the AirPods are famous for, including things like seamless pairing and iPhones and syncing of that pairing across multiple Apple devices via iCloud. They also were packed with the W1 and the H1 chips, which are found in the AirPods, and letting them work alongside the Apple branded earbuds that features like audio sharing. But when they released these buds, the audio sharing wasn't included in the with the Apple Silicon, so which was kind of interesting. Just being an Apple product, But with this new firmware that just was released this week as we record here, Apple released a firmware upgrade to the Beats Studio Buds. And while there isn't any official release notes, what a surprise, the company has confirmed that it has added additional new features to improve the experience for Apple users. Significantly, this includes syncing pairing with devices that share the user's iCloud account. That means if you like AirPods, your device will sync across all your devices that use AirPods. And it's got the battery pop-up screen that comes up on your Mac, as well as other things, but it also is bringing some audio sharing feature. But you won't be able to do the audio sharing feature. But if you can live without that, the Beats Studio Buds are good, and they're attractive, but because they do fit, quite nicely in your ear. You being the audio guy, Jeff, what do you think?
For people that enjoy Beats, this is great. For me, I would never use Beats. They are focused on people that have a preference for extremely bass heavy profiles for their music, and for me, that ends up making what I'm listening to too muddy, and I'm just not a fan of Beats. But for everyone that is, great. And to me, it's kind of crazy that Apple at this point isn't rolling out Beats with feature parity to their Apple branded headphones.
Yeah, absolutely. Any thoughts on that, Warren?
No, I haven't owned a pair of Beats in years. Personally, my son used to have a few, but he grew out of the Beats situation. He has a couple of Sonys that he likes. But yeah, this is a heart-pounding, interesting story that we got going here with that firmware update. There you go.
All right, I will leave it at that. Next story: sale of silent AirTags on eBay and Etsy raises privacy concerns. This is a Mac Rumors. Yeah, Apple AirTag tracking devices with deactivated speakers have been spotted on eBay and Etsy, raising privacy concerns about the risks of removing one of the AirTag safety guards, which is this is a report in PC Mag. The modified AirTags, dubbed silent AirTags, have their internal speaker removed, so it's no longer able to emit a sound. That's the whole point of it. So you can find your things. To highlight its presence. The silent AirTag looks identical to a normal AirTag, other than a small hole cut into the device's battery to disconnect the speaker. The Etsy merchant behind one of these product listings, which offered the silent AirTags for $77.50. Wow, it's $25 when you buy a regular one, right?
Right, but you get the stealth mode.
Yeah,
plus $50 more.
Strangely enough, my mom has an AirTag on her dog that I got her, that I got for her, and 3 months after we put it on, the speaker stopped working. It still works, other than that, but I should sell it
the
for
speaker thing
$77.
On the AirTag. It's actually really interesting because if you crack one open, there's no speaker. There's at the center of that wafer, the logic board wafer, there's a little magnet, and there's kind of a coil thing that goes around it. And so what's happening is the AirTag is vibrating, and it's creating the sound through the vibrations that this whole little magnet setup thing
So
creates.
they're not saying they're removing it either. From what I read, they're drilling some kind of hole into it.
that's what I said. Yeah, they drill a hole.
Yeah.
Which is still crazy, but
yeah, it makes sense. They're just kind of killing the ability for that vibration thing to happen. And but still, I mean, this is kind of scary.
It's scary. The funny thing is too, in the beginning when people were trying to avoid buying the holders for it, people were drilling onto the top of it, so you could,
right. So you could put a little lanyard on it.
Right.
So now you could have two holes in it. And
so the seller that was on Etsy actually told PC Mag the intent of this modification was to cater to the several requests of buyers interested in other AirTag products that were interested in fitting an AirTag to their bikes, pets, and power tools. These requests led me to listing it as a product on Etsy. albeit without a great deal of traction. The vast majority of the sales on my Etsy profile are from sales on my modified slim AirTag designed to obtrusively fit inside a purse or wallet. All right, well, still, we've talked about this on the show a bunch of weeks now about the privacy concerns. We've talked about the privacy, the personal safety user guide Apple updated with their tag information. I mean,
doesn't the phone let you know either way?
In fact, my wife has been driving my car this week because we had hers in the shop, and I have an AirTag on my keychain. It's been bugging the heck out of her that she has an AirTag in her purse because I don't have that AirTag synced to her account. So the Find Mice kept telling her that there's an AirTag on your person.
So you could drill the speaker up, but that person's still going to know. So I mean, if they have a phone,
Well, that's the thing. I mean, even though it's not going to make any sound, so I think this is no pun intended, a mute point here that it's not going to be a problem because it's still going to track and it's still going to tell the person that there is an AirTag somewhere on their person.
But if you flip it around again, if you put it on your bike or your bag and somebody steals it, having it not beep is a good thing, right?
Right.
Then,
they see it and they can toss it.
Exactly. So I mean that's the whole yin yang thing with this AirTag is basically if you use it to find something that somebody stole, then the stealthiness is needed, right? Because you don't want people to know. But if you if you put on somebody to stalk them, then the stealthiness is bad. So there's no right way to go about this at this point.
Yeah, I agree. So I don't think it's much to be alarmed about, other than the fact that just make sure you have your Find My on, and that if there is an AirTag that's on your person that's not yours, it will tell you. And check it out. Last story in the news here this week. Apple launches new iPhone 13 product pages highlighting key features. This is some Mac rumors. Apple is rolling out the new product pages for the iPhone 13 and iPhone 13 Pro that provide a simplified overview of each of the device's key features. New product pages went live in late January, and as of today, they're now prominently linked in the top menu bar of the iPhone page on Apple's website in the United States, Australia, Germany, United Kingdom, and other countries. But if your browser cache might be still storing the old one, it might not be in there. I went to the page. I don't know if you guys took a look at this yet, but I like this. I mean, even go to the iPhone 13 Pro, it says, "Oh, so Pro."
Mm-hmm.
And they really, and then they're doing some great things with web pages. Scrolling up, and you get some really cool flashy pictures, and kind of giving you kind of similar to the way they present a lot of what they present during events, honestly, with the slides. And so I'm glad to see that they're really flashing this up, because I know with Apple, I always found that their product pages sometimes are just kind of dull. Don't you think, Jeff?
Yes, but they've been really, I think, doing a lot to improve that over the past couple of years. And the iPhone, the revised iPhone 13 product page is a great example of that. And honestly, I was surprised this isn't what that page was at launch, because it's not like what they're doing on this page is different from other pages that they've updated.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, you go to even the 13, it's laid out nice. I like the way they really are highlighting the product and making it much easier to navigate with this. What do you think on this, Warren?
Yeah, looks good. I'm looking at it now. I guess between this and the safety guide, they're putting their writers to work. They must be bored. So
okay. So all right, so check it out. I mean, if we all already have iPhones, it's not probably you're not in the market to be looking at it, but it doesn't hurt to take a peek. We always like it. So let's move on to the topics this week. Beta is iOS 15.4 beta 1 and iPadOS 15.4 beta 1 still out there, still being tested. Biggest discussion was when we talked about it last week is the fact now you can unlock your iPhone wearing a mask without the need of having an Apple Watch. And Warren, you mentioned it in a couple posts on Mac to the Future. You were saying that you tried it with your CPAP machine and it worked. Tell us your experience on that.
Yeah, so it did. So I I wear my night routine is a joke, by the way. So I have a CPAP machine. I have in bed. I have my reading glasses. I have earplugs because my wife watches the TV. So literally, probably about 18% of my face is actually visible to like the world. But so
you're sort of like Darth Vader, nap time.
Yeah.
I'm exactly, and I could actually like pull the covers completely over my head because I have the tube going to the outside. It's like my little bubble. But yeah, so I mean, with the CPAP and the glasses, it's been obviously a pain because I don't sleep with my watch, to have to unlock the phone, and then sometimes when I'm in an app that needs it, then then it's a pain. It wants to open up LastPass to get my passwords, and my LastPass won't see my face and won't take the pin and wants my master password. It's a mess. So it's like that was a problem. So before this all came out, there was a few people that said you could try to do it with the CPAP machine, and it never worked. But this time,
yeah, I have an APAP machine, and I could never get my iPhone to unlock if
people try to do faces like that.
We're all on machines here, so it's the same with me.
Yeah, we are like Darth Vader. It's like
well, I do the nostril one, so it's still, but it's around my.
So Dave and I have the same kind. Just
I have the nostril. I have the nostril too. So I have the nostril. Well, it goes. Actually,
no, it's the little pads that go around the nose.
Yeah, the one that Dave and I have, it's called nasal pillows.
Nasal pillows.
I've tried them all, but I have the one I have covers kind of like this area.
Yeah, they have ones that just over here.
So anyways,
this isn't this.
You have the Top Gun face mask.
This isn't in touch with the CPAP, so let's move on.
That's a good show. So so I wasn't. I think I tried it the day of the beta, and it didn't work or whatever. So I didn't think it was going to work. But then I had was wearing my CPAP and I had my glasses on, and it said, "Would you like to take a face ID scan with your glasses now?" And I said, "Okay." So I did the face ID with the scan with the glasses on and my CPAP machine on, and since then it's great. Glasses and CPAP unlocked without the watch. So it's literally for me a game changer because at night,
yeah, absolutely.
That's how I am. So
I mean, I have my iPhone at my bedside, and I always looking over and want to unlock the phone, putting the code in all the time. But this is cool. I mean, and I do have a link in the show notes here to an article on Mac Rumors and showing some of the steps you have to go through. Face ID with the mask setup, and like Warren said, it gets the option of adding glasses. And there are some other options in Face ID. It actually says use Face ID with a mask, and then you can add glasses too. So it will scan if you have just a regular mask on for COVID. You have that on there, and you can add the glasses after fact.
So no sunglasses.
Oh, sunglasses. So that's the thing. It does not support sunglasses.
So you cannot wear your sunglasses at night, like Corey Hart says, if you want to unlock.
Which is unfortunate because when your future's so bright, you got to wear shades.
Got to wear shades, right?
Wearing your sunglasses at night.
So are enough people having problems unlocking their iPhone while they wear glasses? Because like for me, I have to wear glasses to see. That's it.
Right.
And I've never had problems unlocking my iPhone with I'm wearing my computer glasses now, my regular glasses, that totally
it's
different
specifically
frame,
with glasses and a mask. No, this is specifically glasses and mask.
Oh, glasses and mask. Okay.
Yeah, the combination, right?
Okay, got it.
Bear in mind, everybody knows that there is device limitations with this new feature coming out soon with 15.4, iPhone 12 or later. So anything beyond older than that, even though you may upgrade to 15.4, you're not going to have this feature in the older iPhones. So
I think I know some people that will get a new iPhone after 15.4 comes out.
Yeah,
just
so that they have this feature.
And what I said last week too is, when they did the unlock with the watch, they sat on that beta for 6-7 months.
Yeah, I remember. And we were talking about it.
So I really hope they don't, because I mean, again, knock wood every time we say this is hopefully we won't need it too much longer, but
now we're going to need it for a while longer.
probably.
You know, we will. And the case in point, they stress this is not a replacement of the pre-existing unlock with the Apple Watch feature. They're going to keep that in place. So
No, but this is better in a lot of ways too.
oh yeah, absolutely. No, I agree.
It works,
I mean,
and it works with apps, and it works with Apple Pay. It works with everything I mean,
right.
Which is, I mean, strange, right? Because you would think that the things that like, Apple Pay and the, the apps would be more secure with the watch, right? And why would they have, flipped it like that? But I don't know.
My guess is that since they have all the data about what features are being used, that they found that there's a significant number of people that are using features like Apple Pay without having an Apple Watch.
Yeah. I think there's got to be some public pressure going on too with, people are, I mean, the cry to get Touch ID back on these phones for 2 years now with COVID.
To me seems kind of weird, but
and
okay.
It's weird, and like Apple's just like, no, we're not doing that. And even though I think even this week there was a leak of a prototype of Touch ID on the back. Did you see that?
Yeah, I'm calling fakeity fake on that.
But still, I mean, they could easily have done it, right? I mean, I have an iPad mini that does it, and you could put it in the power button and still have the full screen. So I think it's principle at this point that they don't want to put Touch ID back into the phones because they know this is a temporary thing, and I'd rather do a software solution temporarily until this goes away.
I think Touch ID was always a stopgap measure.
Yeah.
And they always wanted to do face, but they couldn't initially.
Oh, they're
so
still
they did
releasing-
Touch ID, and when they could do face, then they started transitioning away from Touch ID.
Yeah, but they're still releasing devices that are Touch ID only.
Yeah, well, now it's at the point where that becomes the discount
Right.
biometric tool.
Which is at first was fine because it was the bezel screen with the actual physical Touch ID button. But again, when you introduce an iPad Air, the new iPad Air and the new iPad Mini, which is full screen and pretty much the same screen as the Pro models at this point, how much cheaper is a Touch ID module than I don't know, than the cameras? But
right. And then the other thing that was mentioned this week, MacRoom article I have here, iOS 15.4 beta is now going to add an option to hide the iCloud keychain security recommendations. So for iCloud keychain passwords, Apple has long offered security recommendations for weak, non-private, and repeated passwords that need updating for maximum protection. But there might be some situations where you might have to have passwords that can't be changed, and those annoying alerts you can't get rid of because of that fact. But this is going to change in iOS 15.4, which is that you're going to give that They're going to have the option you can ask it to bypass that particular password. Good suggestion might be something like you have a password for your router or something that you can't change or something like that. But I mean, I know
it's not just that, but we get all these. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I've gotten, when that first came out, how many panicked customers and users called you up saying, I've been hacked, right? Because
that too, right?
Oh yeah.
I mean, and it's like, no, this is coming up for everybody. This is normal, and they're right. It's a bad. It should have been off by default and on, on if you want to turn it on, because so many people think that that they've been hacked, or they, because it literally says your password might have been compromised, at this point. So,
I think having it on was smart because so many people would have no idea why they would need to have this alert when it's important. What they needed to do was have much better wording, because the wording has people freaking out thinking that they've been hacked, and when in fact they almost certainly have not.
And I mean, even me in the tech industry, when I first got that, I tried to go through all my passwords and like change them all, and after like 50%, I'm like, F this, I'm not doing this anymore because it's a lot. It's a lot of work, you know.
It is.
It's a lot of work.
Just stuck in my 1Password. How many things I probably should change?
Yeah,
There's
exactly.
so much
Yeah.
work you have to do.
So LastPass does the same thing. 1Password does it. I'm sure it gives you the same kind of thing. Even now, like Edge, if you install Edge on or Chrome, it tells you the same thing too.
Yep.
And you know, the wording, Jeff is right. The wording is not good for typical normal users. They read that and think that they've been hacked.
They freak.
Mhm.
They freak. So it'll be interesting to see once that releases how it goes out to the public, other than beta testers. We just keep covering beta here.
Did we talk about universal control? Did we talk?
Yeah, we
last
talked about that last week.
we?
Unless you have something else to add about universal control.
Yeah, last week it was just out for the day, and I started. I kind of played with it a little bit, but now I'm playing with it more. And just an update is, you know, you start to learn the on the MacBook Pro is when I'm using it on. You start to learn the trackpad shortcuts to control, you know, open the quitting apps and opening apps and scrolling across. So once you get the jive of doing that, it's nice. Actually, it's actually nice. And Jeff, I remember last week was saying this is going to be a big thing for you. I haven't actually tried transferring things back and forth like you're going to do, but just, you know, being able to control the actual and what I did down here too is you could hook up your iPad to an external monitor and use universal control pretty nicely too with the trackpad.
See,
So
doesn't
it's-
this just keep getting cooler?
Yeah,
It does.
I mean, it's nice. Again, on, you know, the M1 Max that we all would, at least Dave and I have, we could do most of that kind of stuff already because it runs most of the iOS apps anyways for you for the
True.
most part. But no, I play with it. I hooked it up to a monitor. I got used to some of the controls, some of the shortcuts, and yeah, it's nice. It is nice.
Okay, great. No, thanks.
Awesome.
I completely forgot to because we only had it in our hands like a day, and
Yeah, not
that
even-
isn't a fair review of that. So
I'm like,
Um,
how do I do this? How do I open it?
yeah,
up?
I mean,
I
I
don't know what to
was-
do.
yeah, we would say it was the same. So yeah, it's definitely it's gonna be interesting how it works. So, next topic I want to talk about is VPN, and just kind of give a little bit of a background of VPN and really how important is it to really have it on your iPhone or your iPad. Google announced this week as we record that they've now made Google One VPN available for iPhone and iPad users, and they announced that this week. And it's been only a year and a half after promising it to the devices, because of course they only had it on Android. This has been around since October 2020. We're January 2022 here, February 2022 that is, and it is now available to Google One members. That you have to have a 2 terabyte premium plan, and it's priced out at $10 a month or $99 a year. To add that addition to the VPN functionality. So I guess my thought is, would you guys trust Google to be your VPN?
No.
I just can't.
I don't know if I trust any VPN to be my VPN, to be honest with you. Everybody says this is good and that's good, and then there's always a story about it having a problem. So, I mean, it's better than nothing, but I wouldn't I wouldn't do government secrets or anything crazy on it. So,
Yeah, it's some people say any VPN is better than no VPN, and that's actually not true.
Right. Especially don't even deal with those free ones.
Right. And a
Yeah.
VPN that says, hey, $30 lifetime license.
Yeah.
Well,
No.
yeah, like
That's-
setup has a couple of VPNs, right? I'm looking at it, and they have, it includes some of the VPNs that you can get as part of
As-
setup.
Does it have it as in iOS as too?
Yeah, I think it does.
Yeah, I don't know what VPN's setup has, because I've always been a Tunnel Bear user, and I went with them because they're flexible, they're reasonably priced, and I have unlimited data across 5 devices, but also because they do their annual transparency report. where, they have another company come in and audit all of their systems. And then they take that report and publish it, just put it out on their website for anyone to see. And I like that transparency. But, a company like Google, where their business is our data, they have, just by nature of what they do, broken a trust with me, so that I just automatically assume that a VPN that they provide to me, even though I'm paying for it, is going to have a way for them to be able to access whatever is passing through my VPN data stream.
Yeah.
So it just real fast. Setup does have Clear VPN
Clear VPN, which is
for both iOS and for the Mac. So it does have a free version of it.
Yeah, MacPaw, who also does Clean My Mac and a lot of other great apps.
So do we trust it? I mean, it's technically comes with this program, but I mean,
well, no, it's Clear. You could buy Clear VPN on its own if you didn't have.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but yeah.
But you mentioned Tunnel Bear, Jeff. I mean, I'm currently a customer of Surfshark, which is actually not a bad VPN. I felt comfortable with it. It wasn't too terribly expensive. I did have ExpressVPN, but I think they've just become so commercial at this point. You hear them advertising pretty much every podcast you come across and elsewhere, and they were kind of pricey. So, but I looked at Tunnel Bear, and I think that's a pretty good choice. But I guess my question is going to be to you guys: do you think it's important to have a VPN available on your iPad and your iPhone? I mean, do you really think you need it?
If you're going to be joining what I will call untrusted networks, like you use public networks, you go to a coffee shop and use a Wi-Fi network there. Yes. And the reason I think it's important there, even though when you're talking to a web page that's using HTTPS, you still want to have a way to keep whatever it is that you're doing as private as possible. And so, like, if I have email coming in and out, I want to make sure that no one can intercept any data from that in the coffee shop. I want to make sure that any web page requests that I have going out, there's no one that's going to be intercepting any of my data between my computer and the server I'm trying to hit. And I mean, there's so many people that can just get a super cheap laptop,
right,
and then install something like Wireshark,
that's right,
and go sit in a coffee shop. And I've sat there with packet sniffers watching what other people are doing in coffee shops, so that when I see someone that's obviously trying to sniff all the data, that I can get up, walk over to them and tell them, I know exactly what you're doing, and it's time for you to leave the coffee shop. Apparently every now and then I just get,
I'm not going to buy your pants. I'm sorry. I don't want
and I'm not going to buy your pants. So it's time for you to move on. Every now and then I just get all pissy like that. And
a lot of these VPN programs, like I'm just looking to Clear VPN that they're selling for the iPad and iOS, strictly are selling it for so you can watch things that aren't in your country, and that's literally what they're saying to do it for.
And that's a hard thing, because that means they have to keep changing up IP addresses, and because all these streaming services, they figure out the digital thumbprint, if you will, for the VPNs, so they can block that. So that's a pain if you're going to sit there and try and keep your VPN so that people can use it for spoofing their country for streaming.
Yeah,
I forgot to turn on my VPN, and I got a little nasty note from my ISP saying that I borrowed a movie I shouldn't have borrowed. So that's another reason.
Okay. So we got links in the show notes for the ones that we recommend. I mean, Surfshark is one I use. ExpressVPN is okay. Tunnel Bear is another one that Jeff uses. And then we just talked about Clear VPN as available. You can buy that standalone, or if you have a SetApp subscription on your Mac, which also includes iOS devices, you can get that as well. So I guess the consensus is, yeah. I mean, if you feel like you're going to be in public, places like a Starbucks or any public Wi-Fi that you're connected to, then yeah, it's probably not a bad idea to have a VPN running.
Especially
while
if you
you're
see
doing that.
Jeff sitting at the table.
That's true. He'll be sniffing you.
Yeah,
if you
sit there. I'm doing like this, looking at my screen, and then there you are.
That's right. Okay, let's move on to another topic here. I throw out this question: should you reboot your iPhone, your iPad, your Apple Watch, and even your Apple TV for that matter? The myths that are out there. Is it really something that you really should have to do, and should you be doing it all the time? Should you be doing it once a week? Should you, I guess, Warren, I'll start with you. What do you reboot your iPhone, your iPad at any given time, and maybe in a week, a month, a year?
No. Sometimes I'll clean it a little bit. My iPad, my iPhone, more than I would do. Like, I would clean it to the point where if I don't turn it off, it's gonna, do things I don't want it to do. So I'll turn it off and reboot it that way. But my wife, just an example, my wife called me over and said her iPhone 13 wasn't charging either by MagSafe or the cable, or would do it here and there. And sure enough, I went over to MagSafe and I put my phone on her. It was fine. I put hers on, it didn't charge. I said, well, no, let's reboot it. And that fixed it. So, I mean,
yeah,
it could fix things, I mean, I know it's not supposed to.
Yeah. What about you, Jeff? Do you reboot your iPhone, your iPad?
I don't have a schedule. So my iOS devices get rebooted when they get software updates, because that's part of the software update.
Right.
Or if something is just simply not working right on the device and I can't figure out how to fix it, like changing settings isn't working. And then, just like Warren did with his wife's iPhone, you do a reboot, and then typically whatever the weird problem was is gone. But like setting a schedule, well, you need to reboot your iPhone once a week so that it can run whatever background thing to keep everything healthy. No.
Yeah. And for those of you who don't know, there's two ways really to shut your phone down, and this applies to iPad too. On the iPad, if you just want to use buttons, you push the volume up, the volume down, and then hold the side button in. And then the slide bar will come up to, if you just want to do a power down, and then that slides across and that'll power down the device. But if you want to do what's called a hard reset, that's hard resetting it. Do exactly what I just mentioned. You push the the volume up, volume down. You got to do it in succession, and then hold the side button in and just keep holding it until finally the Apple logo shows up. And that means it hard reset your device, and then that basically is a reboot. You don't probably have to do that as often. I think, if anything, just doing a power down is probably sometimes more or less sufficient, because that's basically like a shutdown and reboot, similar to what you do with your computer. But there are times, and I mean, like I said, I kind of use the word myth because it is a myth. How do you really need to do this? And especially with hard resets, I would always promote, you probably just want a hard reset, and then go through the steps I just mentioned to do it. But I don't know if it's as important these days to just doing this kind of a power down, like I just mentioned.
No.
You want to add anything, Jeff?
I'm a chronic app quitter. I do.
That's the other thing too. I mean, for you, Warren, you're probably not doing anything that's going to cause a problem for you, but realistically, you shouldn't quit apps.
But sometimes you do, and again, I've worked in an old age community, and a lot of times it's basically they have an app that they just never quit, and it's not working. So I get used to.
And, and that's a perfect example of when to do it.
Yeah, and funny story, real fast, is with the elderly, is half of them would turn off, literally power down their iPads and iPhones like every day. because that's what they're used to turning it off. And I'm like, so of course they would, bring it to me and ask me to fix it or help them with it. And we would have to, I would look at it, I'm like, oh, it's not working. You got to wait for it to turn on. And I'm like, you don't have to do this. So, yeah, I mean, so, just people who grew up with computers know that they always said to shut down things and quit apps, and it stays with you. So
Sure.
yeah.
I mean, you're not ruining anything by quitting apps all the time.
No.
But if you let an app just go into its sleep state without quitting it, then the system is managing the data and all the other resources. And so, it's like you're not using as much battery potentially.
No, it's not. I mean, but I've seen enough examples where an app is not working unless you quit it and go back in. So,
of course. And I've had that happen more times than I can count as well.
Yeah.
And but I don't go through my running app list and just start flicking up and getting rid of everything.
I love flipping up. It's great.
It's like, yeah, I
think it's
I
people
have
who
no
are
idea how much is running on my iPhone right now.
Therapeutic for me.
I think it's if people who are OCD do that. It's like, I don't want these apps running. Oh my God. Let me
but the thing is, those apps aren't running.
No, I know. They're just there.
But they don't really, holy crap.
Yeah.
Holy crap. I have so much stuff that's
and how
just
many,
sitting there.
how many Safari tabs do you have?
That's right.
I showed my mom or what? Either my wife or my mom had like 150 Safari tabs open, and I showed them how to delete all at one time, and it's like the heavens opened up. It was amazing for them.
I have 60 tabs open right now.
See, that just annoys me.
And I did close some just recently.
Yeah, that's I can't work like that. I mean, and I don't know. And Dave says it's OCD, but kind of is. I mean, to me, it gets me.
Kinda.
Yeah, it kind of it makes my work. It makes things more difficult for me to have all those open stuff.
I mean, look at that. Some of these tabs have been open so long that they don't even have thumbnails anymore.
Yeah, that's right.
Jeff, what are we
so those are our views, and you do as you want. I mean, that's the beauty of your iOS device is the fact that you can shut it down if you want to. You can leave it as it is. But just take our recommendations that if you got something that just isn't, just if you feel like your phone or your iPad is not running just so right, then yeah, just power it down and then restart it. It just can't hurt at all. So let's move a little bit. And we don't have to have a huge discussion about this other than the fact that it's, we how much we all love Facebook, right? Well, they announced yesterday as we record this that they had reported 33.66 billion in revenue. Of course, it's not really Facebook; it's Meta. I'm sorry, that's their new company name now. But the thing is, they say they took a loss of almost $10 billion in loss because they're blaming Apple and the app privacy that they implemented. I believe it was iOS 14. And without going through all the details of what Facebook and Meta is complaining about, they're losing ad revenue because we're being protected by Apple with these ad privacy. And we've had plenty of discussion about this on previous shows, how great this is, and the fact of the matter that we can go into the privacy settings now and say and choose that this app does not track us. Well, I'm sorry, and I know, Warren, you're a big Facebook guy. You like Facebook, and I don't have anything against Facebook either. But
I mean, to celebrate a company losing all the, yeah.
I'm not celebrating it. I wanted to just have it as a conversation.
Yeah,
here to
people
say,
but people do, and I mean, yeah, people don't like Mark, and I get that, but
right.
But they employ a lot of people. People work there.
They sure do.
And I know, like, we don't like things about it, but as I just said, I worked at a retirement community, and Facebook literally kept a lot of these people alive. Because they were able to see their family and talk to their people
Right.
that they
Grandkids.
like. And that was almost like the only way to do it. So, you know, again, it's their business model is their business model, and you know, people hate that, you know, they're tracking us more than we want to, but you know, if we were an advertisement and we had a way to do that, then we would, because that's the best way to try, you know, that's targeted advertisement is the best kind of advertisement. We have the option to turn it off. Great. It's good. You know, but the you know, people listen, people celebrate Apple, you know, losing money too. And you know, a lot of people, you know, don't like Apple. And you know, we talk about, you know, they lost a lot of money, but you know, Zuckerbergs and everybody else are still rich. But that's true with every company. No matter what company is out there, there's always going to be the high end people that are rich and have a lot of good money who are in a successful company, and people don't like that. So that's all. You know, it is what it is. So,
What do you think, Jeff?
Warren, you have a lot of excellent points, and celebrating a company losing money just because you don't like the company. Okay, well, to me that's kind of weird, but whatever. I guess that's human nature. Yeah, I mean, Facebook, regardless of how you feel about them, Facebook is providing jobs that are letting people feed their families and have a roof over their head, and providing benefits so that they can go to the doctor and if you know and deal with their medical issues. So that's great. And here's the issue that I have though. If Facebook is losing money because Apple is taking measures to help improve user privacy, then there's a problem with Facebook's business model.
Exactly.
Because Facebook shouldn't be dependent on other companies not protecting the privacy of their users. And so I think in that sense, Facebook has become so focused on the advertising, targeted advertising through extensive user tracking. They become so focused on that part of their revenue model that they have let other potential revenue generators languish, or at least not get the attention that they could. And this feels in some ways like a company putting too many of their investment eggs in one basket when maybe they should have more baskets.
Yeah.
yeah,
And
they mentioned Google in a couple of the articles too, that
Right.
isn't doing as bad as Facebook with this, because exactly what Jeff said, they had plan B and C in place.
Mm-hmm.
But
Well, you know, part of this I think has to do with the overall maturity of the company leadership. Look at Google. They have leadership that has a lot more life experience than the top leadership at Facebook. Mark Zuckerberg came out of college riding the wave that of success that Facebook has. And he does not have the life experience to really, I think, effectively lead his company the way that someone else that has been through more life than he has could.
Yeah.
Wow, that was a hard sentence to get all the words in.
Nah,
I hope it made sense.
But you got the point across.
yeah,
But,
but
just-
that's true for most. If you look at a lot of these successful big companies, I mean, Musk is a crazy person, and
Oh, sure.
you know, Bill
Of
Gates
course.
at first was a crazy person. I mean,
Right.
I mean,
And yeah,
they're
and
all-
look
they're-
at the trouble that Microsoft had, because
Yeah.
they had people that were not emotionally mature enough to really appreciate and understand the business success that they were having.
right, but that's a product of the tech industry. I mean, these people weren't
Yes.
starting. These people weren't starting financial institutions with, you know, like, you know, coming out of like, 20 years of working for a financial institution and creating one. These are people who there wasn't an industry that invented the industry, and that's
and this is a side effect of that. Yeah.
And that's why the next person, I mean, that's why Microsoft, put in somebody more, Sadilla, whatever his name is, doing a great job.
Satya Nadella.
Yeah, it's Sadilla. I combined his first and last name. We do that. We're on a first name basis now, so I did that.
I thought you. Satya.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but anyways, I mean, so this is the first iteration of these companies, and eventually, if these continue on, I think they'll mature as they go on. But yeah, it's. I think a lot of people are more mad at the people behind the companies than they are of the company. So Tesla is a good example.
Right.
Facebook is a good example. Even Microsoft was a good example until they kind of changed things. So,
Right.
people don't like rich kids that, rich nerdy kids that did well. So,
So just to wrap up this topic, because we're over time here, I think I'm proud with Apple and the fact that they really pushed to get this privacy in place. I mean, that for us having everybody having an Apple device has the ability to protect themselves from with privacy. If they choose not to be want to be tracked and find out things, then so be it. It's great they're able to do it. But some of us are fine with being tracked and just let it be. I mean, it's just like the letters you get in the mail. Do you want to opt out or opt in? Do you want to opt out of like your credit card, selling your data, that kind of stuff? So that's a whole nother debate. So, but I think that Apple has done a great job with this, and kudos to them, and to continue on with that. So with that, let's go ahead and wrap things up here. We are a little over time, but it was a great lively conversation and a great show here. So that's a wrap for this week. Please send your comments, questions, and suggestions to our email address, feedback@intouchwithios.com. You can follow us on Twitter @intouchwithios. You could support the show here and buy me coffee. And you can go to this URL. It's intouchwithios.com/coffee. And we would really appreciate you supporting the show. And just go into that again, intouchwithios.com/coffee. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe so you are notified when we are live streaming on our YouTube page and our YouTube channel, at youtube.com/DaveG65. You can also watch past shows there as well. Visit In Touch with iOS magazine on Flipboard. Jeff just subscribed. You want to check that out, and we have many of the articles that we talk about this week always are flipped there, and you can go back and refer back to them. It's great information there. You also can subscribe to the show in your favorite podcatcher, including Apple Podcasts and many others. But better yet, go to our website at intouchwithios.com, where all the ways to listen to us are there. I am Dave Ginsburg, and you can find me on Twitter @DaveG65. Jeff Gamet, thanks again, as always, for being here. Where can people find you?
Well, thanks for having me back yet again. And I stand by what I said when I had unfettered control of the live stream. Clone Wars is still overall the best Star Wars that we've been given.
I have to put that as a clip.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram. I'm JGamet on both. YouTube.com/JGamet for my videos, and Thursdays on the Big Show, Fridays on the Mac Show, most Tuesdays on In Touch. No, that's this show. Mac Voices Live. Some Thursdays on In Touch with iOS. There we go. And I get around. I'm easy to find.
I get around.
And then, Warren, where do people find you?
Oh, here.
And
sometimes on Chuck's thing on Tuesday, not this week because I wasn't feeling
Chuck's
so
thing
great.
on Tuesday.
Just thing. Mac Voices Live Tuesday nights,
And then
8 p.m. Eastern time.
and on the evil Facebook page, Mac to the Future, where you could talk freely about anything technology related. And
Absolutely.
we do not track you, although we might. We target ad you in the fact that we know that you like Apple products for the most part. That's all we know about you.
There you go.
There you go.
All right. Well, I thank everybody for listening. Thank you for being here. I hope you enjoyed the show. We had a great time, and we'll talk again soon.
See ya.
All right, guys.
Yeah,
That was a great show.
That was a lot of fun.
a lot of fun. It was good.
And we'll